This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of Imperial Helium, Mr. David Johnson. David, first off, thank you for taking time today. I know you're a bit under the weather, so I appreciate the time. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing really well. Thank you so much, Gerardo. Appreciate being on the show.
I'm looking forward to helping tell this story because it's a unique one in an opaque market that's not very well understood. Now, before we get into helium and why it's such a critical strategic material, I have to highlight some of your experience. Obviously, you've had roles in the past with little startups such as Shell Canada and ExxonMobil. Can you speak to that experience just a bit?
Sure. So I'm a geologist. I'm a bachelor's out of the University of Calgary, and I went to work with Shell Canada Resources Limited. And then I did a PhD in numerical modeling and subsequently enjoyed Exxon Production Research Organization, and then went to ExxonMobil Exploration. After that, I was brought up to help rebuild Husky Energy's Frontier International Group in Canada, and we had a good run there for about 8 years. Built out a lot of the opportunities in Southeast Asia and around China, the major block growth there, 2002 through 2008. Did a startup called Focus Energy. That went well. People did well out of that. And then I worked with a high net worth individual for a while with several companies that we were managing for him. And then left that to work in Kuwait and finished up in Kuwait as head of exploration in the business development group. Came back to Canada in 2016 with the downturn and began working at Helium. And Imperial Helium is really an outgrowth of that effort.
You've managed to put together quite an impressive team for a company that has a market cap sub 20 million. Can you just touch on the team a little bit? Because I think it's important moving forward for the asset that you're developing.
Right. We really have a very senior management team as a whole. There's myself, and I have about 35 to 40 years experience. Michael Zebko is our Chief Operating Officer, and Michael comes with a huge depth of roles in structural and field development engineering with a number of companies, with Helium, Amoco, Devon, Conoco, Penwest, Canadian Natural Resources. Michael is just an extremely experienced, competent hand to pretty much lay his hand on anything. Barry Lappin has joined us as a financial officer, 20 years experience in the oil and gas industry, spanning both private and public markets. A time at the Chiefs in the UK, and he's been a great addition to the team. Stephen Anford is our chief geologist. Stephen Anford is, there are geologists that are good at doing geology, and there's geologists that find things. Stephen's a finder, and is a great addition to our team with about 30 years of experience. And then Keith Edwards is our chief geophysicist, and Keith has 37 years of experience, and he is just one of the best geophysicists I've ever had an opportunity to work with.
Excellent.
That's the management team. But then behind us, go ahead.
No, I was saying that's an excellent overview of the team. You were, I believe, going to touch on the behind the scenes folks that you have on your side as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So just touching on the board and the board strength, because we have a very strong board. Really, Kyler Hardy and Brad Hayes. Brad Hayes and Trell Robertson, but Trell Robertson has been a company that the consulting firm has really incubated new ideas into coming into existence. And Brad has done this with a number of companies, Central European Petroleum, with Ocean, which is a heavy oil company in Alberta, and then with Imperial here as well. Kyler Hardy does the same thing from the financial perspective with Corona Capital. Really takes companies from seed to IPO, and has really been the two core parties behind getting Imperial Helium off the ground. Chief event through that in Campbell Beecher, who's about 20 years of experience with investment banking. Steve Burleson, who has started and run his own mining companies, and he comes from a CFA or from a financial background. So we have Kelvin Campbell and Stephen with his strong financial strength. And then Peter and Putnam and Marty Wickstrom, who both run at the board. These are two individuals who have both founded and started and funded their own companies and bring that great depth of what it takes to run a company to the board.
That's an impressive group. Again, for a company with a market cap sub $20 million, the helium market is forecasted to reach $18.2 billion. That's in US dollars by 2025. You have an advanced stage asset with an expedited path towards production that you're targeting for Q4 2022, which obviously puts you right in the sweet spot of that profit window, right? There's so many companies that have assets and they have the right market, but by the time they actually bring the production profile on board, the market has changed and they've missed the boat. This is very opposite of that. Can we speak a bit to the asset in place and just the plan to get this asset towards production?
Yeah, our strategy from the very beginning has been to be as efficient with shareholders' capital and to keep the risk as low as possible. In order to do this, we're developing assets or capturing the developing assets that have been already identified. That is, we've gone to places where helium already exists in wellbores, and we said, let's capture that asset and go forward. The asset that we've captured is the Steveville asset in southern Alberta. And this is a land block of about 95 square miles that we've captured. There are two major structures on this basement high, and one of them has a blowout called the Steveville blowout. Now, we've taken the approach that we are going to appraise the structure, and that's what we did. We drilled 2 wells to appraise the structure. That will take us to the place where we're able to bring the asset on stream by 2024. By Q4 2022. Now, in order to get both wells on stream, what we're projecting is 10 million cubic feet a day raw gas from 2 wells. The Steveville 2, which will be 5 to 8 million cubic feet from one zone, which we've already proven, and the Steveville 3, which is the planned producer well that we're planning to drill this fall going into the first quarter of 2022. So that gets the asset essentially defined. We know what it is. We know what the production risks are. We understand the opportunity, and we're ready to bring this opportunity on stream. Now, in order to monetize an asset and to de-risk that, what we've done is we've created a strategic alliance. And we've created these strategic partnerships between Onto Solutions and Uniper. Now, Onto Solutions is a gas company that creates and manufactures a helium separator. And that's what they're doing for us. In fact, what they're doing for us right now is manufacturing a small scale model of the plant we will be building next year to demonstrate our ability to produce 5-9 helium. And that'll be done by December. In addition, what we've done with the strategic alliance is we have Imperial. And Imperial is a marketing transportation company. They're about a $14 billion company. They work in 40 countries around the world. They're essentially gas transportation and marketing company. And we're negotiating with them an offtake agreement right now for the gas that will be coming from the Steveville opportunity.
You are targeting, I believe, an independent resource certification by GLJ in Q1 of 2022, correct? That is a major catalyst for the company and a milestone. Is that still on target?
Absolutely. The independent resource assessment is still on target. The way this will work is GLJ is doing their preliminary work right now, and we will have a P1, P2 estimate proven as probable. Probably in the late fall. And then once we get the second well down, then we'll finish doing the entire resource assessment and have proved resources for that entire block.
You mentioned the strategic partnerships that you've been able to develop, an impressive, list of names there, obviously. For people that are not familiar with helium because of the opaque nature of that market, could you give us just a brief overview of why this opportunity now has presented itself in such a volatile way, right? It seems like every year we hear more and more about helium shortages and the projections that are obviously very favorable. Can you speak to that before I let you go, David?
Oh, absolutely. So the opportunity that is before us and the sudden price rise really comes out of some global pricing dynamics. And what it really hinges around is that the U.S. in 2013 recognized that the helium that they have, that they needed to keep for themselves. So the public reserves that they were selling to commercial interests, they decided to take off the market in 2013. And they finished taking them off the market by 2018. And at that point in time, the price shot up. That was 2.1 billion cubic feet of helium that came off the market at that point in time. So we're looking to feed helium into that vacuum. The price is strong. We're using a price of $375 US for economics for grade A helium. And to be clear, we are going to be producing grade A helium that's 99.999% pure helium. The price is high right now, and I think it's going to stay high. Yes, we've heard about the new streams coming from Qatar and the new streams coming from Russia, but the fact of the matter is that there's a very small number of players that really control the market. There's really only about 6 players that control the price of helium on the globe, and a number of these are the major gas companies. So there's economic rent that's being captured. There isn't going to be a strong desire to break that control on the economic rent. The other reason is that helium is hard to transport and store. It's really hard to store. And it's very hard to transport. As a liquid, you can only keep it in a container for about 40 days. So you have to get it from one place to another place, put it back in the gas, and then it takes large volumes to store it. So you can't store it, which means there's isolation of the market between different parts of the world. The U.S. has experienced this downturn in volume, this increase in price, or downturn in supply, an increase in price, and we're feeding into that. So we anticipate seeing supported higher prices within the United States for the next 5 years at least.
Insiders have pretty significant skin in the game, 19.56% the last time I looked, fully diluted insider ownership. The market cap, again, sub 20 million. The opportunity obviously speaks for itself. You got the team, you got the asset. I think your timing is spot on. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to that, David?
Yeah, we're really, really excited about where we're at and where the opportunity is and going forward. We have gone out and we have identified an asset. We're going to bring that asset onto production within 20 months from going to IPO. So we're doing this in record time. And the way we've gone about this is really to keep, as I said, the capital efficiency and the risk to a minimum. Efficiency to a maximum, risk to a minimum. And the way we've done that, as I said before, capturing opportunities where we know that helium exists. We're not guessing about its concentration or its volumes. We know what they are. We've integrated along the value chain so we can capture essentially any lost value along that value chain. And we expect to turn out a great product. And really, we're going to be the first people producing 5.9 helium in Canada. So a lot of firsts. And a great run and a great plan and a great team that's making this all possible.
A lot to like, a very, very attractive valuation and entry point for those that are looking for quality exposure to the helium space. David, it's been an absolute pleasure. Get well, and we'll chat again soon.
Great. Thank you so much. If anyone's interested, tell them, just please feel free to call me. Thank you so much.
We'll put a link to the website. Thank you.